Ask me nicely.
Ask me nicely what?
Ask me nicely to marry you, Margaret.
Sandra Bullock was the box office star of last year.
Would you please, cherries on top, marry me?
People like her. She puts paying fans in theaters. She does not win acting awards.
And a Golden Globe goes to Sandra Bullock, Blindside.
Not, that is, until this year.
And the actor goes to Sandra Bullock.
So, when she got Oscar nominated for Best Actress in The Blind Side, it was like a tiny miracle in her great big career. She is, whether she likes it or not, and she doesn't, the queen of romantic comedies.
George!
The gal who gets the guy moments before the closing credits. Sure, the thriller Speed put her on the map, but when a cruise ship replaced the bus in the sequel, the colossal failure made her rethink things. She became a successful producer, got rich and powerful.
I need to talk to you for a second.
And the girl next door became the woman in charge.
Okay?
But Sandra was clearly not content. She was, you see, the daughter of an opera singer mother and a voice coach father. As a kid, she would be at home in Virginia one day and traipsing around the great opera houses of Europe the next. Her parents were serious artists. Maybe she was supposed to be one too.
Do you have any place to stay tonight?
Opportunity knocks.
Don't you dare lie to me.
If you are one of the few people who haven't seen The Blind Side, it's the story of Michael Orr, a sweet, troubled black kid from an abusive home, adopted by an upper-middle-class white Southern family, who goes on to become a football star. Sounds like a ridiculous Hollywood fantasy. Two things make you buy it. One, it's true. Two, Sandra Bullock.
You threaten my son. You threaten me. You so much as cross into downtown, you will be sorry. I'm in a prayer group with the DA, I'm a member of the NRA, and I'm always packing.
But you see all those circles? Those are fish.
Are they?
Yeah. I've interviewed Sandra before, 15 years ago, in Mississippi, when she was filming A Time to Kill. In general, if one can be in general, do you want to be married?
I would love to be in a place where I go, I'm ready to be married.
Are you?
No, not right now.
8 years later, she was ready. While touring the set of the cable show Monster Garage, she met the love of her life, a tattooed tough guy named Jesse James. Many people considered it a mismatch. Clearly, these people have never seen a good romantic comedy.
To my husband, there's no surprise that my work got better when I met you, because I never knew what it felt like for someone to have my back. So thank you.
They married in 2005, and she is now stepmom to his 3 kids, and everyone in her life calls her Sandra, not Sandra. Sandra. It is Sandra, but if you win an Academy Award, is it Sandra?
Well, people have been trying to make it Sandra for quite some time, but I don't think I have the class or the personality to support a Sandra.
Even if you win an Oscar, you can't be Sandra.
No, it's going to be Sandra.
Sandra.
Yes, Sandra.
Okay. You and Meryl Streep, who is also nominated, have had this competition, this pretend. Maybe it's not so pretend.
Maybe it's not.
Yes.
You know Meryl.
Yeah. And if Meryl wins, what will you say
I'm
to
gonna
her?
beat the out of her. No, I'm just kidding. You know what?
And thank you, Censor.
And thank you, beepers.
This is the girl. This is the girl next door. You have made more than 30 films. Many of them romantic comedies, very successful romantic comedies. And you have said people who do what I do don't make award-winning films.
Well, we get awards like Best Hissy Fit and Best Kiss, which I value. A Best Kiss is not easy to get, so I have several awards that represent my kissing abilities. But I also didn't choose roles that I said would one day garner me great recognition. I mean, I stopped working for a while because I wasn't happy with my work anymore. And
you did. You stopped working in 2002.
Something like that, yeah.
Why?
I reached the finishing point. You know, I realized I'd been making wonderful movies, but I'd also made some movies that were not so good, and I didn't want to do it anymore.
So you just stopped?
I just stopped, and I thought it would be like 6 months.
Yeah.
I restored an old building here in New York.
Well, I understand that you're very good at that your father taught you how to do things.
I was the boy. I was supposed to be a boy.
You were Sandy then. So, Sandy.
Yes, Babs.
Let's talk marriage.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I know so much about it.
Well, you got married fairly late. You were 40. Mm-hmm. Why had you resisted it all those years?
You know, I'd always had this feeling that if you got married, it was like the end of who you were. And I just never met anyone that was bigger than me.
So then you meet Jesse James. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's 5 years younger. Mm-hmm. He likes guns, mm-hmm. helicopters, mm-hmm. motorcycles. Mm-hmm. He had his own biker television show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's the man's man. You're the all-American girl. Mm-hmm. What was the attraction?
That he's more than the sum of all the parts that you just listed.
Well, tell me more. I mean, well,
tell me more, therapist.
Yes, thank you. You are so different. What?
But we're not.
Okay, that's what I want to know. How are you similar?
The end result in life that we both want is the same. The thing we want at the end of the day is the same, is that we want to come home. You know, we don't want to, you know, he's not out in bars. He works hard. He can put up with me. I mean, my God, Barbara, you know, look at me. Do you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you bring a spotlight that someone doesn't necessarily.
He has to go to a premiere now and then. He has to be Mr. Bullock or whatever his name may be.
Oh, he'll never be Mr. Bullock.
No, okay. When you won the Golden Globe, you thanked your husband. You said, I never knew what it was like for someone to have my back. No one protected you like Jesse?
Not in a partnership like that, but I'm partially to blame for that. You know, I never allowed myself to be cared for or protected that way in a relationship.
How does he protect you?
Not once asking me to be anything other than what I am.
Does that affect your work?
Completely. It's not a mistake that my work got better the minute that I met him. I became committed to being scared and being braver, because I really couldn't fail anymore.
Because you have him. You can't
because
fail.
I have a home to go home to.
Your parents were married a very long time.
Yeah, they
I mean,
were.
you had a good example. You were very close to your mother.
Yeah.
And she died in 2000. What do you think she would think about your getting possibly an Academy Award?
She would be mortified that I even had a tear in my eye if I gave an acceptance speech.
Why?
Oh, she just abhorred anyone who got up there and cried and said, this is the best day of my life. And she would go, better than the birth of your child. You know, I mean, I think she would be very proud, not because of what I'm being given in terms of opportunities in these moments. I think she'd be very happy with how I carved out my life. I think she was so worried that we would be normal. She was petrified that we would be normal.
She didn't want your.
No,
your mother did not want you to be normal.
She was like, please be original. Don't do what the other kids are doing. I mean, it would drive me nuts because all I wanted as a teenager was normalcy.
You and I did an interview back in 1995, and at that time I asked you to look forward 10 years and see where you might be. You couldn't do it.
I still can't do it.
But I was going to say, so here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
It's been 10 years.
Wow.
So okay,
yes.
Indulge me.
Okay.
Look ahead 10 years.
Some liposuction. No. 10 years from now, I hope I'm healthy. I hope I'm healthy. I hope I have my sense of humor intact. I hope the same people that are in my house today will be there 10 years from now. So I haven't the slightest idea. I don't know.
I hope you have a wonderful 10 years.
Thank you.
With everything you want.
Thank you. And you'll be right there.
Well, I don't think so,
interviewing me along the way.
Hello! Yeah, where are we going to be 10 years from now? I won't even remember your name.
It's you and me and George Clooney. Remember that you were interviewing George Clooney that time, too.
Yes.
Didn't you ask me what kind of tree I wanted to be?
No, that was somebody else.
Barbara, ask me what kind of tree.
Okay.
No, Barbara, if you were a tree, since this is your last...
Oh, don't do this.
No, this is good.
I'm not going to play your game.
Keep the cameras rolling. Thank you.
I am not playing your game. This is the end of the...
Barbara,
cut tape.
in 10 years...
Cut tape.
No. Okay, in 5 years.
Yes.
What would you like to have in your life that you don't have now?
Time. That's it.
Wow. Ms. Barbara Walters, this is a thank you from all of us that you've tortured on camera for all these years. We wish you weren't going, but we're glad you were here. Thank you.
Sandra, I promise next time we're together, I'll make you cry.
Bring it on.
And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. This is terrible. This is the cheap stuff.
This is really lousy.
It's really bad. And we're not kidding.
And you can keep this in.
Did Meryl get the Cristal and I got what?
Oh, she got everything. She got champagne, she got chocolates.
I
To
know.
Meryl.
To Meryl. Long may she reign.